If she never calls or texts you first, understand this. It's not just how she is, it's a decision, and how you respond to that decision will determine whether she respects you or quietly forgets you. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm breaking down exactly what to do when a woman never reaches out first, because each step I'm about to share will protect your dignity, peace of mind, and time. Step 1. Stop rewarding her silence. Here's the biggest mistake most men make. They compensate. You wait for her to text, she doesn't. You get anxious, so you reach out. A good morning text here, a how's your day? There, maybe even a call she never returns. And you keep doing it, hoping your consistency will make her appreciate your effort. But that's not how attraction works. Every time you reward her silence with attention, you teach her something dangerous. That she doesn't need to try. She doesn't need to invest. She doesn't need to initiate. Because you'll do it for both of you. And here's a truth you can't ignore. People don't value what they don't work for. When attention comes too easily, it loses its meaning. Think of it like this. If you always buy a friend coffee every single day, at first he might thank you. But after a while, he expects it. It stops feeling special. That's exactly what happens when you keep showing up for someone who gives you nothing back. So, your first move is simple, but it takes strength. Stop rewarding her silence. Don't text to fill the gap. Don't call because she didn't. Don't chase someone who made no effort to meet you halfway. Let the silence stand. Because silence, when intentional, speaks volumes. When she's used to you always reaching out and suddenly you don't, she feels it. She notices the quiet. She starts to wonder, why hasn't he texted? And in that wondering, she starts to realize your value. This isn't about punishment. It's about self-respect. You're not withdrawing to hurt her. You're stepping back to protect your energy, your focus, and your worth. Because here's the truth. Every time you rush to fill her silence, you chip away at your own self-respect. But the moment you stop, you send a message louder than words ever could. My time, my energy, and my attention aren't free for those who don't value them. That kind of quiet strength shifts everything. Step 1. Stop rewarding her silence. Don't chase. Don't fill the void. Let her feel the weight of your absence. Step 2. Match her energy. Let's be real. Relationships are mirrors. If you're giving more than you're receiving, the reflection breaks. And when that mirror cracks, respect starts to fade. Women don't lose interest because you're kind or caring. They lose interest when the energy is one-sided, when you're sprinting while she's barely walking. So, here's the golden rule. Match her energy. If she calls, call. If she texts, text. If she invests, reflect that effort back. But if she goes quiet, you don't break the silence just to prove your loyalty. You don't chase her shadow. That's where most men go wrong. They mistake showing interest for overcompensating. Interest is confidence. Overcompensating is fear. When you're always the one reaching out, you're not just showing interest. You're trying to earn approval with effort. And nothing kills attraction faster. Matching her energy isn't about being cold. It's about balance. Think of it like a dance. If one partner moves while the other stands still, it stops being a dance. It becomes desperation. But when both move in rhythm, it feels natural, alive, magnetic. That's the energy you want. And when you do this, one of two things happens. If she's genuinely interested, she'll feel the balance and lean in. She'll text more, call more, and meet you halfway. But if she's not invested, her lack of effort will become crystal clear. Either way, you win. You reset the dynamic, or you reveal the truth. Here's what most men forget. When you do all the work, you take away her chance to invest. You rob her of the thrill of wondering if you'll reply, of the joy that comes from making you smile. Don't take that away from her. Attraction grows in the space where both people contribute, not where one person carries it all. Step 2. Match her energy. Matching energy fixes everything. It creates balance and forces her to participate if she wants the connection to continue. Remember this. Women respect men who respect themselves. When you mirror her effort, you're not being petty. You're protecting your dignity. You're showing her how to treat you. So match her energy. Not less, not more, just equal. That balance is what keeps attraction alive. Step 3. Reclaim your emotional control. Think about how many times you've sat there staring at your phone, waiting for her reply. You send a message and suddenly your entire mood depends on when or if she answers. 5 minutes, 5 hours, or not at all. And that tiny notification sound controls your whole day. If she replies, you're happy. If she doesn't, you spiral, restless, frustrated, maybe even angry. That's the moment most men lose themselves. Here's the truth nobody talks about. The second you let her responses dictate your emotions, you've handed her a power she never even asked for. You've given away control of your mental state to someone who isn't even steering the relationship. And that loss of emotional control, that's what makes you look weak, not just to her, but to yourself. Women are intuitive. They can sense when a man is anxious, when he's desperate for a reply, when his peace depends on her attention. And instead of pulling her closer, it pushes her away. Because attraction doesn't come from need. It comes from strength. She wants a man who's centered, grounded, and unfazed, a man who can stand tall even when she goes silent. So, what's the fix? You take back control. You stop staring at your phone and start focusing on your life again. Redirect that energy. Go to the gym. Build your career. Spend time with your friends. Do things that remind you your world is much bigger than her texts. And here's the irony. When you stop obsessing, she feels it. She senses that shift in your energy. You're not as available anymore. You're not hovering. You're not chasing. And that absence of obsession, that's what draws her back. Because now she's the one wondering what changed. She's the one questioning who has your attention. That curiosity often draws her closer, but even if it doesn't, you still win. Because instead of losing yourself over a screen, you've been investing that energy into you. You've been growing, improving, and focusing on what actually moves your life forward. Here's the truth. Your emotions are your responsibility, not hers. Don't hand over control of your peace just because she's slow to reply or doesn't text first. You're not chained to notifications. You're a man with direction, purpose, and value. So keep it that way. Step 3. Reclaim your emotional control. Don't let her silence dictate your mood. Your happiness should never depend on whether someone hits send. When you master your emotions, you stop reacting and start leading. Step 4. Let absence do the work. Here's what most men forget. No one can miss what never leaves. If you're constantly available, always texting, always calling, there's no room for longing to grow. She'll never feel your absence, and without that contrast, she'll never fully value your presence. Attraction needs space. Think about your favorite food. Eat it every day, and it loses its magic. But skip it for a while, and suddenly you crave it again. The same law applies here. When you stop flooding her with attention, You give her the space to feel your presence through your absence. Most men fear this. They think, if I don't text, she'll forget me. But the truth is the opposite. If she forgets you that easily, she was never really interested. It's better to find that out early than waste months chasing a fantasy. Giving space isn't about punishment or manipulation. It's about balance. It's about letting her feel the silence she created and giving her the chance to step forward. And here's what usually happens. She notices. The good morning texts she ignored. Gone. The calls she took for granted. Missing. Suddenly, she's curious. She starts to wonder why you've gone quiet, whether you've moved on, and if someone else now holds your attention. That's when her effort appears. And if it doesn't, then you've saved yourself from investing in someone who never truly valued you. Either way, you win. Either way, you win. Because distance brings clarity. It forces her to confront how much or how little she values having you in her life. If she truly cares, she'll bridge the silence with effort. If she doesn't, she'll stay quiet. And that silence becomes your answer. Step 4. Let absence do the work. Stop chasing. Stop forcing the connection. Give her the space to realize your value on her own. Now, step 5. Test her interest. Because sometimes you just don't know where you stand. She never texts first, but always replies. She answers your calls, but never initiates them. So what's really going on? Is she interested or just keeping you around as an option? Here's how you find out. Without games or manipulation. Pull back slightly. Stop being the one who always starts the conversation. Don't text first every morning. Don't be the one who always calls at night or plans every meetup. Then watch. If she values you, she'll notice the shift. She'll reach out. She'll text. She'll check in. Because she doesn't want to lose the connection. But if she doesn't, her silence will mirror yours. And that's your clarity. Yes, it stings to see she might not care. But that truth is better than confusion. It's better than wasting time chasing someone who was never going to choose you. The beauty of testing her interest is that it reveals everything without you needing to ask. Because at the end of the day, actions always speak louder than words. If she wanted to text, she would. If she wanted to call, she would. If she truly wanted you in her life, you'd feel it. Stop guessing. Stop hoping. Test it. See what happens when you pull back and let her show you where she stands. If she shows up, great. If not, let her go. Step 5. Test her interest. Stop carrying the whole conversation. Put the ball in her court and see how she responds. Let her make the effort for a change. Step 6. Raise your standards. This is where everything clicks. If she never reaches out first, never initiates a conversation, yet you're still holding on, the issue isn't her, it's you. It's the standards you've set for yourself. A man who values himself doesn't beg for attention. He doesn't accept neglect. He doesn't settle for the bare minimum and convince himself it's enough. He knows his worth and sticks to his standards. Raising your standards means you stop tolerating one-sided connections. You stop chasing women who don't make an effort to chase you back. Here's where most men get stuck. They fear being alone. They think, if I let her go, what if no one else comes along? But the truth is, when you raise your standards, you don't lose women, you filter them. The wrong ones will drop off and the right ones will show up. The right woman won't leave you guessing if you matter. She won't make you wonder. She'll call. She'll text. She'll put in the effort because she genuinely values you. Raising your standards sends a clear message. You respect yourself. You're not desperate. You're not afraid to walk away. That kind of energy is magnetic. Women respect men who respect themselves. So, ask yourself, Why am I accepting the bare minimum? Why am I tolerating neglect? Why am I convincing myself that someone who gives me nothing actually cares? That's not love. That's self-neglect. The moment you raise your standards, the dynamic changes. You stop begging. You stop overthinking. You stop lowering your worth just to keep someone who doesn't truly want you. Instead, you start attracting women who recognize your value immediately, women who don't need to be convinced. Step 6, raise your standards. Stop chasing people who don't chase you. Stop begging for effort. It should come naturally. Respect yourself enough to walk away from one-sided love. Here's the truth. If she never calls or texts first, don't chase. Don't beg. Don't lower yourself. Stop rewarding silence. Match her energy. Take back your emotional control. Let absence do the work. Test her interest. Most importantly, raise your standards. When you do, one of two things will happen. Either she'll step up or she'll step aside. Either way, you win. If this resonated with you, hit subscribe and drop a comment below. Have you ever dealt with a woman who never texted first? Let's talk about it.